and welcome to Baby Lady Podcast. I'm Debbie Homer Davis and I run the largest independent nursery store in Kent. Over this time, I've been lucky enough to meet some amazing people, and some of them have agreed to join me on our podcast. We'll have managing directors, CEOs, as well as children's authors, car seat experts, and health professionals. All of these people have one thing in common. They're passionate about what they do, and they've agreed to share their knowledge and enthusiasm on our podcast. Hi, I'm Debbie Homer Davis, and welcome back to babylady.co.uk. I'm so excited today that I have with me on our podcast Nick Paxton. Nick Paxton is the Chief Executive Officer of Silver Cross. Silver Cross, not just a UK company, but a massive, massive global brand. Nick and I have known each other quite a while, and we haven't caught up for ages, so it's going to be really, really good today to chat to you and just find out about what's been going on and what's happening with Silver Cross and the brand itself, and about you and behind the scenes as well. So welcome, Nick.
Thank you very much, Debbie. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it's so nice to speak to you. It's been ages since we had the chance to catch up. So for those of people who are listening, they may not know who you are, but you basically are in charge of Silver Cross, which is now a huge global brand. And basically, you came back to the company when it was in administration, and I think it's fair to say have pretty much rescued it from disappearing.
Well, yeah, I mean, myself and a great group of people, some of which have been with me for sort of 17 years now. There's a very close-knit management group. But yeah, I was lucky enough to come back. I'd had a short career there, and it ended when I moved on for another role. And thankfully, I'd made some kind of a mark for the period of time I was there. And the family bought Silver Cross out of administration simply because they loved the brand. And I knew the head of the family. He'd heard of me through Silver Cross as well. So we started with a blank piece of paper, and it was a real rescue because at that time we had very little product. The factory had closed, or the original factory had closed. So it was about getting the tooling together, getting a new factory together, and understanding really from a lot of our customers and consumers just how much Silver Cross meant. It was an immense pleasure, I think, an honor really to be able to bring it back piece by piece because there's so much love for it.
It's got a special place in people's hearts. So you work with quite a small knit team. Albeit that you're a global brand, you still have a small team around you, and a lot of those people have been with you for quite a long time.
Yeah, my design director, Phil, has been the long-suffering Phil, my work wife, as we like to call each other. We've been together for 18 years now, and it just seems to work. You know, we share the ideas. I'm very connected with the development process as well. But our head of customer experience, customer service, Ricardo, has been with me for over 15 years. And it's just a sort of, we're a very flat management structure. We don't, although I have a title of CEO, we've just all got different tasks to do in the business. And it works really well. We all work really hard. We love the industry we're in. We've got wonderful customers like you who support the brand day in, day out. And we've got consumers now all over the globe. And, you know, when you see, through social media in particular, when you see your product in South Africa, in Hong Kong, in Melbourne, in Los Angeles, it's really quite amazing. You never get bored of it.
No, actually, that is absolutely true, because that happens for us as well, even on a smaller scale. If we see people out pushing one of our pushchairs, you get quite excited about it. Even, or they send us pictures now, obviously, or send us, you know, obviously you can't come in and show us at the moment. Everything is digital. But yeah, it's still really exciting. So how do you develop new products? How have you, and has it affected you in lockdown in terms of developing new products?
It has in a good and a bad way. I think more good than bad, because normally with the engineering and the testing, where that's very hands-on and that's done in various locations around the world, as well as at head office where our R&D center is, it's been a different way of working, and the team have had to adapt, and I have to say they've done that brilliantly well. But it also gave us a bit of time. We've got major launches in 22, which we're really, really excited about. And I think without the break, without the COVID sort of the lockdown period, we may have gone to market a little bit too early with them. And just by actually having time to sit down without all of the rest of the world's business in your ears, just to say, wow, what can we do? Why don't we do it this way? So yeah, it's been great. And how do we develop them? Well, we know customers have got more choice now than ever before. And, our credentials, our sort of brand pillars are crafted, trusted, loved. So when we sit down and look at a pram or a pushchair or a car seat development, we really make sure that it's crafted to the best as we can possibly make it, that it's tested to the best we can possibly test it. And now innovation is so key in products, whether that's a one-handed fold, whether that's new suspension, whether that's sustainable fabrics. All of this goes into the mix, and it's an incredible process, whereby, our designers are taking influence from every part of the world now.
And you're passionate about fabrics. Does that stem from your background in textiles?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I flirted with a role in design when I was younger, which was designing textiles. I worked in factory environments that manufactured textiles, and I just love textiles. I just think they're such a tactile piece of the product. We took a decision a few years ago to make sure that every baby touch point in our products was natural bamboo. But it was a good idea, but actually manifesting that into product that can be commercially manufactured to all the standards that we now work with was a huge task. But now our car seats, our interiors and all our carry cots are aligned in bamboo, but not bamboo that has an aesthetic that doesn't match the rest of the pram. So just taking all that through. So yeah, I've been involved from the manufacturing end, from the testing end, from the design end. So we know that customers will buy with their eyes. And I've been in many, many stores around the world where a mum will purchase a pram simply on the basis that she loves that aesthetic, that design. So it's critical.
You briefly touched on about how you were developing new products. And can you tell us any more about that?
Well, we've got some major launches next year. I can't say when next year, but there's a major overhaul of the range. We will be keeping a vast majority of our best sellers, but we're introducing new products that do things in a slightly different way. We know functionality and innovation is very, very high on all parents' shopping lists. And we're just trying to provide our mantra is, we provide the best start in life. And we really do believe in that in the sense of we line all of our interior products from our car seats through to our pushchairs in a natural, sustainable bamboo fabric. So that gives a natural environment for the baby. And what we're trying to do now is take that a step further. So you'll see with our new collection that from fabrics through to the materials we're manufacturing the product to the fold size, everything has gone through quite a substantial change. And in a way, the lockdown situation was quite favorable to that, because we had where all of our designers were working from home and they were taking influence from all sorts of different places. You mentioned the fabric team taking influence from Fashion Week, but they will also take influence from new car interiors or new home interiors, and how all of those fabrics come together. Well, it's the same with the product team. They'll see a new e-bike, or they'll see some new carbon fiber scooters in the US, and just think to themselves, well, what about that could be applicable? And I think working from home gave them a little bit more freedom to think for that time. So we're really excited about what's coming through. There's a lot of new technology as well that, I'm really excited to share with you when we can.
So does that mean you've got an e-pram coming?
Well, it depends where you put the E in e-pram. There's definitely some exciting developments. I mean, I'm not massively in favor of powered prams, because I do believe that one of the joys of having kids, I've had 3, they're all a little bit too old to push now. They're pushing me around now. But, getting out and about, particularly for my wife, getting out and about, getting that exercise, getting that air and environment with a natural wheeled product is one of the joys of it. I remember our Balmoral pram, which we had for our third born. I didn't get one. Wasn't lucky enough to have one for the first 2. I remember that rocking outside the house in the garden in the sun, and just thinking, sometimes the most basic, simple mechanisms can give the greatest pleasures. So we are looking at technology in a different way. We always want technology to enhance the user's experience and bring something. So not necessarily power. You'll have to wait and see what it is, but it is quite exciting.
So there's a little, you heard it here, something beginning with E, something exciting coming from Silver Cross. We have actually recorded today a video of the new Click Buggy that actually just arrived last week. And that's really, really clever. But you can see that on our YouTube channel if you are listening to this. It's a really clever product.
The Click came about, again, with the demands of our international market, whereby, selling into loft apartments in New York and Shanghai and the various metropolis, becoming smaller in the fold, quicker into the fold, more convenient, carry straps, all of this integrated into the product is a challenge, because again, we want a wider bed unit, we want a full flat sleeping area. So we try not to compromise on, well, we would never compromise on where the child's environment is, but we're trying to enhance the parents' use and environment. So there's always a bit of a conflict of interest, but I think with Click, we've got it just about right. It's a great buggy. It's great. Hopefully we'll be traveling again soon, so it's perfect for that.
I wish. So those of you who don't know, the Click is actually a very compact folding, suitable from birth buggy, and it folds into a really compact size. I think that if you are lucky enough to be going on a plane, you should be able to get it in the overhead locker. Obviously, you'd always have to check with your airline. But not only is it really clever in the way it works, but the fabrics are stunning, really stunning. Really love what you've done with the fabrics on that. And sometimes when we see compact folding buggies, they do a job, but they're just not very pretty. But this sort of just looks beautiful, which of course, obviously we are used to now with Silver Cross products.
It was interesting with Click because it was very much designed for that urban market, that travel market. We just said, look, let's just open it up to a wider color base. Let's just be a bit more fun with it. Let's add some, some iridescence to that overprint so that it sparkles in the sunshine and it just picks up a little bit more light. So no, we're really, really proud of that.
It is really lovely. It's really lovely. So in terms of traveling, I know that normally you would travel. You love, like me, you love to travel. So where have you missed most? Obviously, I know you've told us how much you've loved being in Yorkshire, but where have you missed most where you haven't been able to go?
Well, I think 90% of my travel is business related. We are, excuse me, blessed with having some fantastic customers around the world, distributors, most of which are family based, and I've known for most of those 20 years. So we've got, where do I miss most? I mean, I am a lover of Shanghai and Hong Kong. I've spent a lot of time out there. We've got deep relationships out there, and it's a market that we found fascinating to come in as a British brand. And in the years I've been out there, it's friendships and locations that matter. We've got a huge growing business in Australia, mainly down to the people we work with, a husband and wife with 5 children, balancing this distribution.
So they get to trial the products as well.
They've trialed everything. Trust me. They're not only a distributor. They're like a test track, a living test track. But I love Melbourne. Melbourne's a beautiful city where I've spent many times. And New York, where our US distributor is, who doesn't love New York? Every time I go to New York, I sort of see the product being used in a different way. And that just is that perfect urban landscape to see how products are used. So yeah, many, many places. I mean, lots of places around Europe as well. But I think travel just opens your eyes and long haul travel gives me time to think, which you don't always get in the day-to-day. So I miss that.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be that long before we get it back. I think There's light now. There's light.
Definitely.
So do you have any funny stories about your time in the industry that you want to share with us, or that you feel you can share with us?
Oh, funny stories. Where would I start? I mean, the ones I can share are very, very few, but as you well know, maybe trade shows and the rest are a very interesting events. I'm not entirely sure, really. I mean, I know that, we've had many funny or sort of humorous experiences. I remember being in one particular factory where we were developing a new product, and it was shortly after I'd purchased my very first or what was it? Not iPhone, iPod. Sorry, the iPod. So the iPod was launched in Hong Kong, and I queued up for it because I was a big tech junkie then, and I just picked up this. It was the first consumer product that I was absolutely blown away with, the integration of plastics and metals, and it had an app, and you were downloading things. It was like, wow. I remember the advertisement, 100,000 or a million songs in your pocket and all of this. So I went to the factory, and we weren't making the progress we needed to make. And I'm dressing that up. It was pretty horrific. We had a great design, and we just didn't have the buy-in or the understanding. And I remember putting the iPhone on the table, and the table grew. About members of the business grew around it. And I said, look, this is what we're trying to achieve. We're actually trying to achieve something as beautiful as this. And it had to be translated, but at the end of it, I really felt confident that we'd got the message over, that Silver Cross was about quality. It was about the integration of materials, about your fabrics and what you were saying. So I returned back to the UK. 6 weeks later, I'm back to see the next iteration of the sample. And they pulled out exactly the same sample with a music player on top of it and pressed some local music on there, and I was like, oh my Lord. To say it had been lost in translation, yeah, perfect example of being lost in translation. But no, I mean, as I say, I'm very, very lucky to have been through a process of redeveloping the brand, because we had to start from a clean sheet of paper. Apart from our heritage collection, we were really building from the ground up. So there's a lot of funny incidents when you're developing product, but yeah, that's one that stands out.
I think you're very modest about your contribution, because really, I mean, what many of the viewers don't know is that when you came into the Silver Cross, that was in effect nothing because it had gone into administration, you've literally built it from the ground up. And obviously you've got a team around you, but when you took it out of administration, there was sort of pretty much nothing left, was there?
No, it was very, very sad. It was sad to see, a British brand that everybody knows and loves, and that a family had managed for over 100 years, just disappear. And when businesses go into receivership, it's a tough time, not just for the individuals, which it's dreadful, but the archives of 100 years were thrown into skips, and the famous Silver Cross mark that used to be on the end of the building was ripped down and just thrown in a corner. So my first job was literally climbing into skips and pulling all that archive material together, which we still have in a sort of small archive museum within the business, because just holding on to all of that history, the Duke of Edinburgh pushing Charles in his Silver Cross pram, which was shown on the news quite recently, brings a tear to the eye, really, that we've been involved in all of this, and all of that history could have been lost. So yeah, it's quite a responsibility with Silver Cross, because wherever I am in the world, meet 2 or 3 people, someone will have a memory of Silver Cross. I've had notes pushed under my door in hotels in New York and Sydney and various places to say, oh, I heard you were from Silver Cross. My mum pushed me in a Silver Cross. So yeah, taking it up again has been great. And I think taking it to where we are now, our car seats are winning awards, our furniture is winning awards. So we want to be a brand that parents can buy into or get involved with across so many different touch points. But yeah, I mean, I've got an amazing team of people here. We are a genuine family, that we have a very flat management style. We barbecue together when the weather permits up here. We walk together. We definitely party together, yeah, as you well know. But we don't really believe in a strict hierarchy here. Everybody has an input into the business, and what's been fantastic is, most of our board, most of our senior management have been here over 10 years and have grown into those positions, and it really does make a difference.
Yeah, and one of the things comes over from talking to you, and also to talking to some of my other guests, is that those people in these positions, like yourself, you're very, very passionate about what you do. It's not a job, it's almost a lifestyle choice.
It is. The nursery industry is like that, as you well know. Your customers will share intimate details, about their family and about why they've chosen this product, and then you'll get to know about the birth, whether it was good, indifferent, and you become, entwined in their lives. And it's like that for us, and it's like that for me. I've received countless emails and letters, and not all favorable, where people haven't had the best experience, but actually getting involved with them and understanding and learning more. We are blessed in this industry. I genuinely believe that if families entrust our brand to carry their newborn, which is the most precious cargo in the world, well, that's pretty special for me. And no, it is something that, it's an industry, again, as you well know, that so many of us get involved in, and we retire out of it. So that must be a good thing.
Look, I don't think I could do anything else. I love it. We're celebrating 30 years this year, and I'm not employable, definitely, and I don't think I could do anything else.
No,
I still love it.
You could do anything else, Debbie. We don't want you going anywhere.
But it is magical what you say. We get to experience and share that journey with parents, which is one of the most special things. I know there are lots of other brilliant jobs, but I think I count myself as very lucky that I have a job and still have a job that I love and get up every morning and enjoy doing. And I get the feeling that you feel the same way.
Yeah, I do. And I think the important thing for us, again, the world is changing. In the last 20 years, whilst we've been here, we know the planet is changing, and our responsibility to that has to change, and ours has changed. We've recently introduced a recycle, reuse, and resell scheme. So we offer parents the opportunity to return their product, and we'll give it a full valet and safety check. So hopefully they can use it for a second child. But then if they want to just, every return that comes back to us, we fully recycle at our cost. But it's just amazing to see, instead of these huge hunks of materials being thrown into skips and landfill, to actually take them back into their parts and see, the trucks come and take all that away that can be made into, a plethora of new product, whatever it is. Has been great. And we also give parents the opportunity to return their products to us. We will do the same valet service, and we gift that to a local, a Leeds-based charity for parents in need. So it's just a starting point. Every journey has to start somewhere. And then, we're looking at, I've got actually a meeting at 5:00 tonight about taking further steps to get the head office to carbon neutral. And, I'm a parent. I see the shift in weather patterns, the extremes around the world, and we've all got to do something. And and that's another exciting journey to go on, because we wouldn't have even considered it, 20 years ago.
No.
But
no, we have so much more knowledge now, and now we have that knowledge, you feel like you have to do something with it. So does that lead us on in terms of like things that you're working on for the future? Will you be taking into account recyclability, sustainability in terms of future product development?
Massively. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at all of the materials and the sustainable source of those materials. Particularly, we touched on fabrics for 22 will be, the majority will all come from fully sustainable sources. We're already using sustainable bamboo fabric, which isn't always sustainable. So we're very mindful of that. We have more textile products coming, which are GOT certified and Ecotech certified. So, you know, it is a criteria now. It's a benchmark of where we work from. Of course, there are some materials which are impossible to be fully sustainable, but again, just ensuring that we order smartly, that we recycle as much as we do. So as much as we can, we just make a full circle from manufacturing through to end use. That's the important thing for us.
Yeah, no, that sounds really exciting to look forward to. And when can we expect to hear and see about these things?
The new collection will be spring 22.
It's a little way off yet, but something to look forward to.
Oh, very much so. We're really excited about it. It feels like we've been working on these projects forever, as you saw some of the very early prototypes in 2019. But by having that little bit of extra time and, you know, extra testing, extra comfort measures, extra suspension, all of these areas have been thought through in a very, very detailed way. So it all bodes well, I hope.
Well, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of extra time to get it just right when you're not working under that time pressure.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than time pressures, particularly with product. You know, product needs time to develop and it needs time to be tested, not just on rigs, not just by, you know, the quality testing houses, but by real parents who can see something that may be very obvious, but we can miss it because we're too close to the development. So with these particular new products, you know, they've been in the hands, prototypes have been in the hands of real parents for sustainable periods of time. Not just in the UK, but all over the globe. So, yeah,
so that allows you to tweak them. So is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today?
Well, I'd like to share that, you know, we're very proud of having an association with the Baby Lady for all these years. And, you know, we do recognize what you do for us. And as I'm sure the other CEOs and leaders have said, it's, you know, we are very, very grateful to the specialist independent retailer. You know, we know that specialist independent retailer has a community reach and has bonds and relationships locally. And, you know, it is our absolute priority to ensure that we support you and others like you going forward. So, no, not a huge amount to share other than I think 2022, there will be a lot of product that comes to market that will surprise one or two people.
Well, you heard it here first. No, thank you for those kind words. To be fair, we have got a long association of working together. So, and yes, it's worked really well. You know, we're still selling Silver Cross products really successfully. And we even have customers now coming back who bought Silver Cross from us in the past for their children, and now their children are having children. So you get that sort of association going forward, which I find quite exciting. And they're still buying Silver Cross. So they still love it.
I think when you get a second generation, and I'm almost old enough to get a third generation, you just realize that you've met the expectation or hopefully exceeded the expectation first time round. And that's all we hope to do. There's a lot of choice out there and we respect a lot of our competition, but, you know, we do try and do things the right way. And most importantly, if things don't go right, our backup and our customer service, you know, again, supporting you and what you do has to be A1 all of the time. So, no, we're in a good place.
Excellent. Okay, well, I really, really appreciate you joining me today and sharing all these insights. We're very excited to hear about the future, but you've still got an amazing group of products now. You know, the products that you currently have out are still developing. Obviously, we've got the new Click we talked about, and there are new products coming through all the time. We've had new colorways this year. So although we're talking about the future, you've still had exciting new products this year, even in a lockdown.
Yeah, we've had a lot. We've possibly had as many launches through lockdown as we've had in more actually than we've had in previous years. And this year, you know, up to the new launches next year, the current product, we've got new special edition launching around September time, which is very exciting, which will sit alongside Eclipse. We just launched a brand new furniture collection called Primrose Hill. We've got an incredibly exciting car seat launch in a couple of months, which we're just working on the finer detail of now. So yeah, I mean, product is king. You know, we're so enthusiastic, I think, about developing product that it might seem as though it's out with the old and in with the new, and it's not like that at all. The new products will complement the existing products. So yeah, this year will be another exciting year.
Well, you'll be able to see them on our YouTube channel. So anyone who's listening that wants to see them, as soon as we can get our hands on them, we will preview them and we'll put them on our YouTube channel. So I've had a brilliant afternoon talking to you today. I really appreciate it. It's been ages since we've had the time to catch up, and I've really missed it because you always tell me new and exciting things, which I always love newness. So thank you so much for sparing the time, because I know that you are really busy. Yeah, it's been absolutely great to catch up. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you for joining us for this season of our Baby Lady podcast. We've learned lots of new and exciting things, and some amazing people have shared their knowledge with us during these last episodes. We hope that you've enjoyed them. If you do want to leave us some feedback, we always really appreciate it. Don't forget to keep checking on our YouTube channel, where we'll be previewing all of the new products that people have talked about over the coming months. And we will hopefully join you with a second season of Baby Lady Podcast very soon. Thanks again for joining us.